Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a leFH18B2, the 105 leFH18B2. It's the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, and we're on the south spawn of Fiery Salient. And the name of the commander is the demontaxidriver. Now, leFH18B2 is a skin that you can get from What Arty Noobs. We have it freely available to anyone who's a member of What Arty Noobs. And the demontaxidriver isn't moving very far, he's just... It's an encounter game. 5mm ammunition. It's damage of 410 alpha damage and penetration of 53mm, but the fire rate is so quick that if you track a vehicle, you can normally keep it tracked if you can get your rounds on target, and that helps if you've got a gun rammer and also got a gun lane drive. And that tree went down, indicating somebody was there. He's firing these rounds in blind at the moment on the off chance of getting someone, but he probably wants to conserve some of his ammunition from now and only fire at enemies that he can see. There was somebody in the cap. Well, no, there are two tanks in the cap at this moment, but there's nobody up there to spot for us. It looks like some of the team have gone off on the west side of the map, and we've got a few tanks that are actually going up towards the village, so hopefully they'll be able to spot something for us. In fact, there are now 3 enemy tanks in the cap, and although this is an encounter battle, and that means it takes longer to cap, if there's 3 in the cap, you must do something within a minute or the enemy will win. Fires around at the T-34. Oh, big hit! 399. Well, it's recording as 124 hit points of damage. Now, did he get a hit on that? No. Okay, there are still 2 in the cap. Got rid of that T-34, but there's still 2 in there. It's a tier 6 game. This is a tier 5 SPG. We still need to see where the enemy is. And they're getting close to capping out, so if we don't do something soon, the enemy will win this. And it looks like demontaxidriver is taking aim at some of the tanks that are defending the cap on the hill. We fired at the strip and missed him. Trying to get another shot on him, lining up a leading shot. Round out, and oh no, it just went over the top of his turret, and they've managed to stop the cap because somebody's gone in there. But I think for a brief moment we actually saw a Wolverine hiding behind that house. So we fired a round in there, and we got a hit on the Wolverine and reduced the cap by 1 capture point. But there's the KV-1, he's in the cap right now. We lost the PK, which means obviously the cap has started up again. But we can fire at that VK, and that will help reset the cap. In fact, the KV's been hit, and that has done a reset. But there must be somebody else in there who's capping. In fact, there's 2 other tanks in there. We've got the KV. There must be still 3 tanks in the capping. And in fact, the rest of our team are now rushing in to try and get the reset. We still can't see them, and they've managed to stop the cap by getting in there. But we need to see where the enemy is in order to fire at them. Waiting for the first sighting. Oh, one of our blockers just got hit, and there's the T-3485 in the cap area. Fired a round in, and no, it missed him. And there's 2 of them, a Wolverine and a Hetzer. Right, we need to fire at those 2. Oh, the Wolverine's gone down. Now we need to fire at the Hetzer. Must be one of the ones that's got most of the cap points. And we get a lovely hit there, which resets the cap virtually completely. But we lose sight of the Hetzer. Firing another round in, and no, he must have moved. So we know there are still 2 tanks in there, the T-3485 and the Hetzer. And then 3rd enemy tank has joined the cap. And We're firing another round in there. We don't know where the enemy is, and that's wasting shells. Got to be more careful. Fires at the wreck of the Wolverine. No, that's not doing anything. But one of the enemy tanks has left the cap. Okay, we're gone to overhead view. Ah, there's one of the enemy. It's the Hetzer. And I think that's one of the ones with... Yep, I think he's been killed. And the resets happened. And there's one of the enemy Arty. It's also a Fifi. We're firing in. Oh, we've got a hit. We've killed the enemy Fifi. Tank drivers know them as leFHs or leaf blowers. But we've got a kill on him. And we just missed the Striv who pulled back in time. And there's one of the cappers, the T-3485. We thought he was going to go back further, but he didn't. He moved forward, so he managed to dodge the shell. We need to work out where he's going to go and then aim the shot ahead of him. Oh, good hit there! And that's reset the cap. We need to get another hit, and that T-3485 is down. There are still 6 enemy tanks out there, and one of them's in the cap. Nobody's near the cap in order to do anything about it. In fact, the only tanks actually are down this end, apart from the Electos up the north end of the map. And so somebody's going to have to move towards the cap right now, or we're just going to be firing randomly into the cap, and that'll waste shells, because we've only got 12 rounds of HE left, 6 of heat and 2 of AP. And he's looking at the Electo on our own team, and he's fired around at his own tank. Oh, and he's damaged his own player. I think he's trying to encourage the player to move. Well, that's not going to help. That's just going to kill your own teammate. Oh, this is not good. It's not going to help. The Electo is moving, but he's not moving towards the cap. He's actually moving away from the cap. So it's had the opposite effect. I think the Electo driver is so annoyed that he's decided not to take part in the battle. So I think those shots actually were detrimental to their game. Now the Achilles has moved south of the cap. I think actually it's going to help now if demontaxidriver moves towards the cap himself. He's got a view range of 390 meters, so it would be easier for him to spot the enemy than anyone else. The only trouble is he's so slow, and the Nashorn's killed by the enemy by the Striv 74, and he's probably the tank that's actually in the cap or up on the hill. There's the Striv, he's up on the hill. Okay, we've spotted him. Now he probably spotted us as well. We've auto-aimed at him, fire around him, that's missing. You really need to go to battle assistant to aim at the enemy. Fire around him, and yes, he gets a kill. 82 hit points, but he needs to get that reset. There's the enemy. T-67, the Striv 74 found him, but he's going to lose sight of him any second. And he's still capping. But Striv 74 coming towards the cap. Need to stop that. Oh, he gets a kill shot on that. 290 hit points. But the enemy is still capping. The Strivs come up, and there's the T-67. He's circling in the village. And it's going to be difficult to get a shot on him while he's circling like that, unless he's coming towards us. Or going away from us, that is. We fire around him. Oh, he gets the kill shot. And there's only 2 enemies left. We've got 4 kills so far. So if we get those last 2 kills, then we've got a top gun. Now he's aiming for the SU-8. At the other end of the map, he's been found by the Electo, who's finally decided to take part in the battle. And we wipe out that SU-8. And there's the AMX-105AM. He's hidden in the bushes. We're dialing in on that target. Almost ready to shoot. Round out. Oh, he's got the kill shot. That wins the game. And it's the top gun. Now, let's have a look at the end of battle stats for this one. Well, it's a first-class tanker for demontaxidriver in the 105 leFH18B2. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 11. A defender medal for resetting the cap enough times to get 70 defense points of the cap. A top gun for getting at least 6 kills. And he got the counter battery because he took out all of the enemy Arty. He took out the Fifi. He took out the AMX-105AM and the SU-8. But I think actually his shot on the Alecto was not a good idea, and he may have lost his high caliber, or his chances of getting a high caliber with that shot. In fact, yes, he did lose his chance to get a high caliber, because he did get the highest amount of damage, and this was back in the day when if you did damage to any teammate, you automatically disqualified yourself from getting the high caliber, even if you did get the highest damage during the battle. And demontaxidriver got 1,605 hit points of damage, which is more than enough to qualify for the high caliber. The next highest scorer was the Nashorn on his team with 1,197. And then after that came the Alecto with 1,124 hit points. Highest score on the enemy team was their Striv 74 with 1,076. That was the one we took out as he was coming down the hill. When it came to kills, it was definitely demontaxidriver who scored the highest. He got 6 kills. The Nashorn got 4. Then we've got the Achilles on the enemy team who managed to get 3. And when it came to base XP, it was the Nashorn who got the highest amount. He got 1,030. Demontaxidriver got 1,000. And then the Alecto managed to get 776. And when it came to the detail report, we can see that he fired 32 rounds. He got 10 direct hits, 10 penetration and 4 splash. Damage of 1,605 hit points, all of which was at more than 300 meters. When he hit the Alecto, he did 145 hit points of damage to him. So that's team damage. He also hit 10 of the enemy, killed 6 of them, and he managed to get 100 defense points by resetting the cap on those tanks whilst they were capping. In fact, actually hit more than one tank while they were capping, but he didn't take them out, or all of them out during the while they were capping, which means obviously he didn't actually pick up enough to get a Delangnates medal by killing 4 enemy tanks whilst they were all in the capping. He earned 37,950 credits for that battle on a premium account, but he was fined 1,779 credits for the damage caused to the Alecto, and that left him with 36,171. And after ammunition resupply, and the ammunition is fairly cheap, the HE one, he actually took away 32,075 credits. He received 1,500 XP, minus 3 for the damage on the Alecto, plus 599 because this is a premium vehicle, means he took away 2,096 experience points altogether. But the one thing actually I would say in this battle, and you can probably tell from the tone in my voice, I'm very disappointed that he fired at the Alecto and did damage to him deliberately to try and encourage him to move into the cap, because all that did was lose you the high caliber in the process. And of course it gives people on your own team a bad name, or gives Arty a bad name, if they fire on their own team to try and encourage them to fight. So yeah, I think that's probably not a very good move. I mean, by all means fire at the ground near them, but don't actually do any damage to them if you can help it, because doing damage to them will only cost you the high caliber and also any respect that they might have had. I mean, it was lucky that he did actually then re-engage in the battle later on to enable you to find that SU-8 and the AMX 105 AM. But if he hadn't have done that, you wouldn't have got that counter battery, and you wouldn't have got the top gun either. So really, in a sense, actually firing on your own teammate is counterproductive, unless that teammate is blue, or if that teammate is trying to troll you and prevent you from fighting in the game altogether. And that's the only conditions in which it would actually be beneficial to fire on your teammate to protect yourself or protect others. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like, or do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.